For Splodinator.com, I'm Noobs. Well, guys, it's finally happened. We have actual, official, concrete NX news to talk about. And it's terrible! So Nintendo finally had to come clean. They had their big, end of fiscal year financial briefing thing going on. And as part of it, we've gotten a whole bunch of news. Not a fan of most of it, but let's go through it. So, the NX will be launching March 2017. Now, people had generally expected, I'd hoped and predicted that it would come this November in time for the holiday season. But I did think there was at least some chance it may end up getting pushed into early 2017. We know, for example, from the 3DS that they do sometimes when they can't quite hit year end, they'll still try to get it within their end of fiscal year, which is end of March. So disappointing. Personally, I don't find it the end of the world. What's 4 more months? But now they did announce officially what was already very much rumored and expected, that Zelda Wii U would indeed be coming out to both Wii U and NX, and that as well has been delayed until 2017, presumably so that they can, launch these together and not have Wii U sales cannibalize eventual NX sales, right? Personally, the news that I found hardest to take, and I think is just an insane business move, they actually announced that NX will not be revealed at E3, but at a later date instead. They've got a ton of floor space booked at E3. I'm sure this was a last-minute decision to pull from the show. From earlier leaks, we know they had at least been targeting end of 2016, so this appears to have been a very last-minute decision. The official excuse was they wanted more time to work on software, but frankly, we're so far out from what would have been the November launch that I think they could have rearranged some teams, put priorities on certain games, and made that date if it were just a software issue. Missing E3 as well, I have to think there's either last-minute hardware changes, maybe there's manufacturing issues. I think there's more going on here than what they're saying. Just a hunch, though. Even more baffling than all of this is that supposedly Zelda WiiU/NX will be the only playable game they have at E3 this year. Again, they have a ton of floor space booked. Again, indicating this was a very last-minute decision to pull. But, they have... I know it's not a great lineup for the rest of the year, but they have more than one game coming out. Even on Wii U, they also have Paper Mario, right? And I'm sure a few other things. And then on 3DS, they've got, unfortunately, Federation Forces. Even as part of this news, several unannounced 3DS titles were also said to still be in development. And there's more titles that we already do know about that are coming for that system. They could easily put together more of a floor show than just Zelda. Putting all this news together, frankly, I just have to think, what is Nintendo doing right now? All of this just indicates mismanagement, disconnect from fans. The internet is just awash in generally awful NX-related rumors. Nintendo needs to control the message. Message boards, rumors, fans are just going out of their minds. Making fake controller mock-ups that just look ridiculous. Nintendo needs to explain what the NX is, put to rest all these crazy rumors, give us some idea of the power level of the system. Rein it in a bit here. I think Nintendo needs to open up, forget this crazy closed system they've got going on where they barely communicate with their fans. It's damaging, okay? It's damaging. The constant, Nintendo is doomed, bring out the doom clock stuff. Bring the hype, bring the fight again, Nintendo. Bring it to your competitors, bring it to your customers. Be bold, be a little bit arrogant, bring the hype. Instead, it feels like you're constantly retreating, hiding. Open it up. Oh, by the way, and I think this was thrown in there to make the investors happy, because they also announced that Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing games are coming to smartphones. Great. Funny thing about all of this as well, we're hearing that production on Wii U is ramping down. Nintendo projects just 800,000 Wii U's to be sold for this fiscal year. That would bring the lifetime total of the system to only around 14 million. Keep in mind that Nintendo viewed the GameCube as a huge failure, and even that sold 22 million. So we're talking about only 2/3 the sales of GameCube on Wii U. I mean, this is really the death march. We've only got a couple titles to go, it looks like, for the system. It's going to be a very thin year. So I guess let me know what you think about this first information on NX. As Nintendo fans, what are you going to be playing until March? You have some Wii U, some 3DS backlogs you can work on. 3DS still has a bunch of RPGs coming. Hey, maybe they'll finally ramp up with some Virtual Console releases on Wii U to cover it. No, I'm kidding. That's not going to happen.